Hello, welcome back to CinemaBurger. I'm Scott Berger, and I bring you movie reviews from a different perspective. Today we're here to talk about the Netflix original movie, Project Power, starring Jamie Foxx, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and introducing Dominique Fishback. This movie is about a world where there is a synthetic drug called Power that gives people superpowers for about 5 minutes. We get introduced to Frank, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He is a cop and he's after people on this drug called Power. Now, what's interesting about the drug is that when people take it, they don't know what kind of power they're going to get. They could get strength, invisibility, speed, or they could actually explode, which doesn't happen that often, but is a possibility. Now, this movie takes place in New Orleans, and we hear the police scanner, and it's different crimes, but it's with people with superpowers. So that's an interesting take on regular crime and stuff like that. Now we get introduced to a girl named Robin, played by Dominique Fishback. This is a first-time actress. She's a high school student, and she doesn't really have a father. She lives with her mother, and she doesn't have the best of circumstances. Now, she is also a drug dealer. Specifically, she deals Power. Now, whenever we see the drug being used, it looks like a little orange capsule. When people swallow it, they get whatever power it is. And the movie uses pretty good special effects, and it showcases the powers in an interesting way. Where while they have the powers, they can't really control them, and it causes them great harm. There's one instance where a person is on fire and just burning as they are running around. Now, Jamie Foxx plays Art. He is an ex-Special Forces soldier who was experimented on to try to give people superpowers. Now, he is after the people who took his daughter, who are the same people who are responsible for creating this drug. Now, he is on a mission to find his daughter at all costs, and we keep getting flashbacks of his daughter and things that have happened in his past. Now, when he meets up with Robin, they form a kind of surrogate father-daughter relationship. Now, Jamie Foxx's character isn't proud of his past, but they keep revealing a bit more of it as the movie goes on, and it turns out that Jamie Foxx's daughter was genetically given superpowers passed on from Jamie Foxx's experiments. So they describe it as like fetal alcohol syndrome in a way, where you get birth defects from doing drugs. In this case, the drug is superpowers, and the daughter got superpowers without having to take a pill. So the government is after her, and it turns out that she is the origin of the actual pill form of Power. Now, Robin is a rapper, and she's trying to figure out what she's good at in this world, and people are always doubting her, and that she's better than dealing drugs, and she's a pretty good rapper, in fact. She can take a word and start rapping off of that one word, and that is her good skill in this movie. Now we get introduced to one of the main dealers of Power, played by Rodrigo Santoro, and his name is Biggie. He is trying to corner the market of Power and distribute it throughout New Orleans, meeting with buyers and also giving demonstrations. Now, there's one demonstration near the end of the movie in particular where there's a glass case and a girl is given the drug and she gets ice powers, and the effects are really cool. It's enjoyable for the girl at first, but with all drugs, things go downhill from there. So, since she's almost freezing to death, they increase the temperature of the chamber that she's in, and she seems okay after that. Now, Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt are there, and they're trying to find the main dealers of Power, and while there's a whole gun fight and fight scene going on, this girl is literally freezing to death. She's becoming ice and falling apart right before the audience's eyes. And this is a great scene of just two things happening from going bad to worse. And this might be my favorite scene of the movie because it really shows that in this universe, superpowers are not fun. They are deadly and can kill you. Now, Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the beginning is using Dominique as an informant, and she is giving him information about power and where it goes. Now, he uses power himself to take down drug dealers, which is kind of hypocritical, and even his captain of the police force wants his badge and gun for doing such acts. And that's a good reason. Now, throughout the movie as well, Joseph Gordon-Levitt thinks Jamie Foxx is a dealer of the drug and is trying to bring him in. Now, the two kind of cross paths throughout the movie, and they kind of fight each other. Now, eventually, they realize they're on the same side and work together. Now, in one of the flashbacks, Jamie Foxx's daughter was kidnapped by a big bald man with a beard, and there might be a lead on him. So, while they're trying to take down Biggie, they see that the government is there as well, because Jamie Foxx's daughter is there. So, they finally work together and take down this bearded man. Now, all that's left is to get Jamie Foxx's daughter back. Now, Jamie Foxx says he would never use power again because he hurt too many people in his past, and he would only use it as a last resort. Now, they also talk about that when you take power, you kind of get an animal-like trait or something. That part was a little confusing, but Jamie Foxx's animal power is what's known as a pistol shrimp. So, when Jamie Foxx takes the drug, he basically can weaponize the air molecules around him like a pistol shrimp. Now, I looked this up on YouTube. Pistol shrimps have claws like regular shrimp, but they close them so hard that it shoots pressurized air bubbles that also get really hot, almost to the degrees of 4,000 Kelvin, which is almost as hot as the sun, to stun their enemies. So this is basically Jamie Foxx's power. Now, he disintegrates people around him, he throws the air molecules at him, and it's really impressive. And he destroys all of the bad guys, and pretty much everyone kind of gets their happy ending. Robin starts rapping, Joseph Gordon-Levitt has stopped power at the source, and Jamie Foxx has got his daughter back. So what's interesting about Project Power is even though it's technically a superhero movie, it doesn't set up a sequel, which is kind of nice, because this feels like a good one-off story. It doesn't need more. And they give enough backstory that you know what's going on, and there's nothing really confusing about the mechanics of this world, so to say. You have a good backstory about the government wanting to basically create super soldiers, but using them for evil, and it getting in the wrong hands. Now, this movie was pretty entertaining. It wasn't too long. It was just under the 2-hour mark. There weren't really any scenes that felt unnecessary, in my opinion, or out of place. Every scene, I feel, had purpose. I would give Project Power a 4 out of 5 burgers. I thought it was pretty entertaining, not too over the top, just long enough. But it could have just used one little extra thing to really give it a 5 out of 5. There could have been some mystery in this movie, like I wasn't surprised by anything happening. There wasn't any big reveals that I was like, oh my god, but it was still a very good movie. I'm CinemaBurger, and I'll see you next time.